What if everything we believed about building a championship team is just the surface of a deeper, more fragile game? What if the true test for this Lakers team isn't just talent or star power, but the razor-thin margins of timing, cunning, roster puzzles, and that gut-wrenching balance between risk and reward? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now let me take you deep into the murky waters swirling around the Lakers' off-season moves. Because while Jake LaRavia's signing, DeAndre Ayton's arrival, Jackson Hayes returning, and that intriguing draft pick duo headline a new era, are these the only moves we'll see before jump ball? Absolutely not. If you're sitting there thinking the front office has checked every box and closed the book on roster improvements, I'm here shaking my head with you. The truth is, this summer's story is far from over. There's that lingering Shake Milton contract, a non-guaranteed piece that acts like a ticking time bomb on the 15-man roster limit. The Lakers can and almost certainly will waive Milton, clawing back a slot to chase one final free agent gem. It's not a question of if but when that happens, and it throws the entire market wide open for a fascinating chess match. One, where every move could tip the scales toward glory or devastation. Let's talk targets, because parsing through who could realistically join the purple and gold before the regular season starts is like reading a thriller. Each name comes layered, with potential and peril. Take Ryan Rollins. This name may not set off alarm bells yet, but don't let that fool you. A third-year guard from Toledo who's quietly carved roles behind the scenes with Golden State, Washington, and Milwaukee. Rollins brings something the Lakers desperately need: versatility in the backcourt and a long wingspan that defies conventional size measurements. Picture a 6'3" guard with a 6 feet 10 inches wingspan, a freak of nature's proportions, capable of guarding some of the league's trickiest ball handlers and making a defensive impact that far outpaces his minutes. His tattoo of potential is written in the numbers: 241% from three-point range overall and an absurd 48% from the corner last season, shooting more than 5 threes every 36 minutes. He's no one-trick pony either. He's an emerging two-way player who can fill in at point or shooting guard, averaging around 2 assists in just 15 minutes per game. Think about that in Lakers context: a young, dynamic combo guard who could offer sturdiness off the bench, especially if Gabe Vincent, another point-of-attack option, gets traded out. But Rollins isn't the only one connected to the Lakers' plans. D'Anthony Melton enters this calculus as the grizzled veteran with battle scars and undeniable impact on both ends of the floor. Melton's wingspan might be a bit shorter around 6'8", but his defensive IQ and hustle are akin to a defensive tyrant. His history speaks volumes. Over the past 4 years, when healthy, he's averaged double-digit points, grabbed rebounds, dished out assists, and stolen the ball at a rate that strikes fear into opposing offenses. His 38% three-point shooting and elite 42% clip from the corner make him the quintessential 3-and-D warrior every title contender craves. The rub? Injuries have plagued him recently, with only 44 games played over 2 seasons. The Lakers would be betting on a man who could regain his form after a torn ACL, but the upside? Enormous. Between Rollins and Melton, the Lakers hold a tantalizing crossroad. Do they gamble on youthful upside or go for the steadiness of seasoned reliability? These two candidates aren't just names. They represent divergent philosophies about the team's trajectory and how best to support their stars with depth that can withstand the brutal grind of an NBA season. But suppose the off-ball guard need isn't the Lakers' biggest headache. What about wings who can guard, shoot, and breathe life into that spaceless offense? Cody Martin fits the bill as an underrated defensive presence, just recently released from Phoenix Suns' efforts to shed salary under the secondary salary cap. Despite an underwhelming offensive year, shooting a dismal 28.5% from three, Martin's track record shows flashes of a sharp-shooting wing with a 38% Three-point mark combined over several seasons and a history of locking down perimeter threats. His plus 1.1 defensive box plus minus last season was the best of his career, highlighting his value as a disruptor capable of steadying a shaky defense. The downside? Health concerns kept him off the court more than fans would have liked, but in a team where every rotation piece matters, a defender like Martin with length, strength, and a nose for steals could be a crucial cog, especially playing alongside stars demanding constant attention like LeBron and Davis. Not convinced? Enter Amir Coffey, a less flashy but reliable shooter with a career 38.4% three-point accuracy, crushing 41.9% from corners and even posting a scorching 46.2% last season on those corner attempts. Coffey isn't the lockdown defender Martin or Melton might be, but he brings the kind of steady-age veteran presence and floor spacing every contending team needs when crunch time hits. Standing 6'7", with length to bother shots and a balance. Defensive profile, Coffey adds consistency to the wing rotation at a salary that won't kill the cap. If the Lakers are aiming for just one more piece to complement their core, these wings could bring exactly what the roster lacks: a defensive backbone coupled with reliable shooting. But what about big men? Loading the front court with size, versatility, and gravity players who can stretch the floor, rebound with aggression, and protect the paint while contributing offensively is an art form. Chris Boucher is that rare hybrid big standing around, 6'9", with a jaw-dropping 7 feet 4 inches wingspan, able to slide both as a power forward and center depending on matchup needs. He doesn't pack bulk to bully down low, but he compensates with silky skill and sharpshooting prowess, knocking down 36.3% of his three-pointers on high volume last season in only 17 minutes per game. That's nearly 8 threes per 36 minutes and offensive weapon in the modern NBA big man mold. Boucher's efficiency and ability to finish around the rim, combined with his mobility to run the floor with LeBron and Luka Doncic, make him a player the Lakers could lean on heavily more so than Maxi Kleber, who struggles with consistency and impact. Reports suggest the Lakers are intrigued by Boucher's mix of length, shooting, and athleticism qualities that perfectly align with the purple and gold's evolving style of play. But what if the ideal big isn't on a standard contract? What if this team leans into its flexibility and grabs a two-way contract that could surprise everyone? Kai Jones exemplifies that gamble, an athletic marvel with the length and explosiveness to finish plays at the rim, a step-up candidate to back up Ayton and Hayes. Playing 40 games split between the Clippers and Mavericks last season, averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds, and shooting an eye-catching 80% at the rim, Jones embodies untapped talent and raw energy. Could this be the spark off the bench that energizes the Lakers' middle rotation, giving them lob threats and rim runaways with star playmakers on the floor? It'd be a risk, bare bones yet fitting for a team operating under a loaded deadline with limited cap space and a pressing desire to win now. Veterans like Thomas Bryant or Precious Achiuwa might also flirt with the Lakers' radar if they can't commit elsewhere. But with Jackson Hayes locked in as backup, the likelihood of a guaranteed bid gets slimmer by the day. So here we are, staring at the final fringe moves the Lakers can make. Each choice a loaded dice roll with the potential to ignite a championship run or deepen cracks threatening the foundation. Waiving Shake Milton isn't just a roster tweak. It's a prelude to a decisive gambit. Will the Lakers chase the youthful upside of Ryan Rollins, lean on the gritty stability of Melton, beef up defense and shooting on the wing with Martin, or Coffey, or stretch the floor and future with Boucher or Kai Jones? What remains is the ominous question. Are these moves about filling gaps or changing the very identity of the team entering the dogfight of the Western Conference? As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel the weight of every decision reverberate like echoes of the past while clutching the fragile hope of future glory. There's a storm brewing beneath the surface of each roster number, contract clause, and whispered trade talk. So is this the start of a new empire? Or the beginning of our unraveling? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one. Listen up. Lakers Nation, this isn't just another off-season update. This is the heartbeat of what might be the most critical crossroads our franchise has faced in decades. Every decision, cut, and contract isn't just a box check, but a seismic move that recalibrates the entire Lakers DNA, stretching from LeBron's twilight legacy to Anthony Davis' mounting burden as the cornerstone star, to young Bronny's budding past shadowed by enormous expectations, and even to Austin Reeves, the quiet warrior whose grit and loyalty have already made purple and gold believers fall in love all over again. The stakes couldn't be higher, and if you think this all-season's roster maneuvering is a routine shuffle, you're missing the storm brewing beneath the surface. Look, Jeannie Buss has been the steady hand steering this ship through hurricanes and quakes, but what if the old guard meets new ambition cloaked in billionaire muscle? Imagine a magnificently potent figure stepping in not just cash, but a vision to shatter the delicate power balance at the top of the league, rattling the front office and rattling the soul of Lakers basketball itself. This isn't just about players, it's a chess game played under the shadow of Lakers legends. Think about Showtime in the 1980s, when Magic Johnson was the maestro orchestrating style with swagger and smiles, when the fast break was poetry, and the Lakers were kings of Hollywood's bright lights. Then flash forward to the 2000s three-peat era, the unstoppable duo of Kobe and Shaq, grit, dominance, and raw intimidation wrapped in gold and purple, a ruthless dynasty born from perfect chaos and certainty. Recall the bitter hunger of 2010, when Kobe's revenge tour crushed every dream in its path, a testament to willpower and unyielding heart. Then 2020, the ultimate validation securing the bubble championship in a world stop code, when everything we knew about basketball was rewritten under quarantine's heavy silence. But since that pinnacle, it's been a slow, gnawing decline. Injuries, lost drafts, questionable trades, and front office paralysis that cast doubt over our once bright horizon. Now, here we are. The orchestra is tuning again, but the players aren't set, and the conductor's baton trembles in the hands of decisions made in whispers and urgency. Could this summer's ambitions be the spark to shatter the Golden State Dynasty's hold on the West? Could these fringe moves topple powerhouse Denver's juggernaut and stall the fiery advance of Phoenix's new core? Or will the Clippers exploit Lakers' chaos, slipping quietly past with well-calibrated strength, and leave us wondering how we lost ground in a market bursting with promise? Picture this team not as a finished product, but as a raw diamond, jagged and unshaped, with every add or subtract carving its fate closer to sparkle or shatter. Ryan Rollins entering the fray brings hope, a versatile protector with shark instincts, who could finally give us the defensive backbone to challenge those lightning-fast guards, tearing up our perimeter every night. But that's a what if, loaded with the kind of risk that haunts Lakers fans who remember the past. De'Anthony Melton, a battle-tested warrior, offers gritty reliability, but carries the ghost of injuries and the question of durability, because what good is a fix if the lifeline snaps under stress? Cody Martin paints a picture of defensive tenacity and flashes of shooting brilliance, a key that could lock down wings and give LeBron the breathing room he deserves. Yet injuries linger like a shadow over his potential, threatening the ripple effect this compression of a career could have on our defense. Amir Coffey, a steady hand in this swirling chaos, a shooter who won't ask for the spotlight, but demands the respect of every floor space in need. He's that quiet, crucial player whose value might only glow in the May spotlight or fall silent in the grind of regular season nights. Then look at the big man Chris Boucher with his almost supernatural wingspan and shooting stroke, a player who can stretch defenses and create space for Davis and LeBron to operate freely. But he's untested as a cornerstone piece incoming. From a Sun system that is itself rebuilding, will his skill translate into the crushing force the Lakers so desperately need? And Kai Jones? Raw and explosive, a wild card that perfectly embodies the Lakers' off-season attitude. A high-risk, high-reward gamble from the fringes, because sometimes the ladder to glory is built on taking chances no one else dares to take. What if these calculated risks become the defining moment for LeBron's final chapters? What if Davis finally stays healthy, bearing the full weight of expectations while the cast around him tightens like a steel cage, ready to siege the West? And what about young Bronny, watching from the sidelines or practicing on the same hardwood? Where the legends walk, will he rise to meet the family legacy with the added pressure of being more than a name in purple and gold? Austin Reeves, who shocked the league and this fan base alike with his fearless edge and clutch performances, must also find his place in this emerging story. Can he evolve from underdog to a cornerstone veteran who holds the second unit together? Or even challenges starters for minutes? Imagine a rotation where hustle meets discipline meets pure talent. Are we finally brewing a witch's brew potent enough to topple decades of Warriors' dominance and remind the league that the Lakers are a graveyard for dreams? And here's the kicker. What if this entire gamble fractures under the surface tension of front office power struggles? What if Jeannie Buss's steady reign collides with new money, loud voices, and conflicting visions, fracturing the pelving very foundation meant to hold this franchise up through trenches and title runs? Because history has taught us this. Greatness rarely survives internal campfires burning out of control. Remember the magic years of the Showtime Lakers? The pinnacle only came when every voice sang in unison, from Jerry West's whispering moves in the shadows to the coaches, players, and owners. Recall cryptic trade calls in the post-Kobe era that left us aching for clarity constant. Rebuilds that felt like slow poison to the soul. And what if the ripple effect extends beyond Lakers land? The West has evolved into a chessboard of giants. Denver's juggernaut young core, daring and relentless. Phoenix's blend of youth and savvy, always threatening to tip the scales. The Clippers, quietly rebuilding in the night, hungry for their moment and knowing the Lakers' fractures better than almost anyone. The Warriors, yes, the calm eye of the storm, could feel real pressure for the first time in nearly a decade. But what if even their dynasty isn't safe? What if these Lakers blueprint moves, these whispered gambles at the edges of the roster, fire the first salvo in a brutal West Coast upheaval? The tension is palpable. That palpable electricity you feel buzzing, not just inside Crypto.com arena, but in bars across LA. Living rooms packed with die-hard purple and gold believers, because no fan in this city is quiet about what this season means. It's a return to fight, a reckoning, a final page in the chapter of LeBron James, the king who defied natural order to defy age itself. It's a challenge to Anthony Davis to be the anchor, the silent giant whose dominance is the key to immortality. It's the crucible where young hopes like Bronny and Austin Reeves either bloom or wither under the spotlight. Every missed shot, every clutch steal, every explosive dunk will chase echoes of greatness past and whisper promises of future legacies. But what if in this fever pitch, the Lakers take the wrong step, the wrong road these loaded dice in? It all comes crashing down, not with a bang, but a heart-wrenching whisper of almost and what could have been. What if this year is not our renaissance, but the beginning of a darker descent? A painful chapter where hope cracks and fractures, scars deeper than any injury on the court. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. This isn't just a season or a roster. It's a battleground where legends are cemented and fates are sealed in sweat and shadow, where every whispered trade rumor or last-second signing sets the stage for either a resurrection or a reckoning no one in. Purple and gold can afford to ignore. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold. Because this storm isn't waiting for anyone to catch their breath, and neither will the history we're about to write.